Okay, today we are going to be talking about the Freshies. Yes, we are going to be talking about the Indians. So, now being a Pakistani, but specifically for this video, I will just call myself an Indian because culturally there is no difference apart from religion. Because Pakistanis are Indian racially, like it or not. I can tell you that these people are probably the most cunning, slimy, two-faced, backstabbing race to ever exist. Um, the Indians, the Indians have this hideous culture. They're social order oriented, strictly. They refer to their poor as untouchables. They laugh at them, mock them, snub their noses at them. In the West, we try to help our poor using social programs and welfare, but a rich Indian would never dare spend his tax on his words, on the untouchables. Money is all they care about. Now, Indians are not violent. They're physically a weak race with rat-like bodies. I've never met one healthy Indian. They always have some sort of health problem. Being weak, they always resort to deception as their way to steal your money. They have strict family orders. Parents are dictators, and dare question anything with them, you can be killed. Yes, these scum of the earth would literally kill their own daughter for sleeping with a man they did not choose, or a man lower than them in their Hindu caste system. Now, although Pakistanis are Muslim, they are still culturally Indian and resort to the same techniques. And when they kill their daughter, they feel justified doing it. This is what we call an honour killing. These parents even decide who you will marry, a forced marriage. Now, people think this only occurs in Islamic culture, and although it does, but often occurs in places like India, China, and Africa too. We only hear more about it in Islam, as Islamic countries are on the Mediterranean and closer to Europe and the West. A forced marriage is where the parents pick who you marry. Boys also suffer from this too, and it's because of this Indian families and Indian family in-laws all hate each other. Every Indian family has jealous aunties, snobby grandparents, or nosy cousins. This is why the Indian family always collapses, because they're forced, and Indians fear a divorce because it may make them look bad from the rest of the community, because Indians care far too much about reputation and identity and status and ego and all these other buzzwords. So therefore they're forced there. So the only ones to blame for their own oppression is themselves. So and they're forced to stay there due to their fear of judgment. Oh God. So yeah. The parents even make profits over the marriages. They're called dowries. So they marry their kids as much of their kids as possible to make as much bucks. So you get immature kids having kids. No wonder Indians are so dumb. Even at times, my parents are forced to marry their own cousins. So the wealth is kept within the family. Yes, incest. This is... Like I said before, this is either to improve family ties or have a greater share in their dead mother's inheritance. Indian culture is very capitalistic, that it makes American corporatism look like dust. All these cousin marriages mean these Indians are born unhealthy and inbred with low IQs. The Indian scum are ugly in appearance, both men and women. They're a superficial race. Even though they're ugly, the Indian girls try so hard. You know, the Indian Paki girls, they try so hard to look pretty when in reality they just look like junkie hookers. The men just care about cars and suits. The Indians make it rich through the property trade or restaurants. And also the Indians, they love to try and act all black and ghetto. That's because they don't have a counterculture of their own. So that's what happens when you concentrate all your energy on being academics and not creatives. And then you complain why you don't have a counterculture or representation. If doing business with these people, never trust them. I've complained about many things, but nothing more bad is this. And they immigrate all over the world and they never integrate. Indians have this obsession that education means intelligence. They always force their kids to be doctors and lawyers so they can have their little sorry, slipped up on my script there. So they can have their little brownie point of saying their son is a doctor, thinking that alone drops the mic at the dinner table. And then also you get the Indians who aren't that and then try to bash on it because they aren't that. So it's two of the polar opposites. You get the ones who brag about being educated, then you get the uneducated idiots who bash on education as a whole because they're not that. So it's two polar opposite evils. These Indians live boring lives. All they do is study and work. They study for the wrong reasons, for class and for status. And once again, they don't work for passion and innovation, but for golden pennies for the greedy creeps. But these Indians are infiltrating NASA, Silicon Valley. Westerners don't know what they're like. I urge you to watch them. So, now although there is stuff in Indian culture I like how Indian people are more sensible than white people. Indian kids will be studying in school while all white people do is get drunk. Like, white people are sort of more degenerate and go to parties. I also don't like how white parents, they just let their kids be so open, they don't give them no discipline whatsoever. Indians may be vocal and always have drama, but they're never violent, or they never act all intimidating by doing the Jeremy Kyle white folks, I physically feel safer around Pakis. I also like how Asian families, even though I don't like that word because I'm not Chinese, but I'll just say that. So, Asian families work as a team. We work together, although Asians all hate each other however, when it does come to the crunch and hard times, Pakis, we will help each other. We do see each other as brothers and sisters, and if we fall ill, we will devise our time to help our people. While white people just put their sick parents in elderly homes. And unlike Arabs and Pakis will always put their people first, while traitor Arabs will just... No. So while Indians and Pakis will always put their people first, traitor Arabs will just prostitute themselves with whoever has the most money and Uncle Tom to the west. Pakis have more cultural and racial values, unlike those Saudi Arab traitors. And although I don't find Indian women attractive, because if they're not the stereotypical Freshies, the ones who do try to look hot, they come across as the cheap hookers and all that sort of thing. And the men try and act all ghetto and hard and black just because they don't have no music of their own or counterculture of their own. So, yeah. And also, Indian women, they're either anorexic or they're too fat. Like, you don't get the whole beautiful, curvy, Brazilian, Latina, African curves and booty and muscle mass to them. They're just either anorexic or chubby, Plus, with the amount of stress from in-laws, is marrying one really worth it? And also, Indian women are ultra-feminists. Corporate feminists, doctors, and soccer moms, and However, although Indian girls aren't worth it, our culture probably has it the best when it comes to reproduction. Arranged marriage is sort of the softer version in the West, not unlike forced marriage, where it's against the people's will and usually imposed by parents so they can score the dowry cash for your misery. Arranged marriage is different. It's like supervised. It's professional. People can pick who they want. It's not like the Gora way of meeting someone in a bar or a nightclub. The parents only give advice, that's it, because it's good you have some other voice to listen to you as well, so you're not getting yourself in shit. And white people may think this is weird, but this system ensures everyone will get married, reproduce, and have kids. And when you're ready for marriage, you ask your parents and they will help you find someone in the community or outside the community. Unlike the West, where the people, they just sleep with tons of other people before getting married, or may not even be able to and just get rejected all the time. Western culture only allows dumb, loud, cocky to breed with arranged marriages because it's marriage and not a date. They tend to care more for money, income, jobs, opposed to looks. This is why divorce rates are so high in the Western culture. They breed over superficial values, and when things don't work out opposed to sex, they split up. This is why the white population is bound to fall. Sorry about that, but yep, finished it with plenty of time without it getting split into one or two. So if you are a freshie, I hope you enjoyed that video. Bye bye. Peace, Rajasthan forever.